What's up, everybody? It's Wombat coming to you from a new game. We've got Once Human, and if you have not seen this before, it's a free-to-play survival game. Lots of mechanics similar to Valheim or Palworld, but it is truly free-to-play. You can download it off of Steam for free. You don't have to pay for servers. You don't have to pay for hosting fees. You literally just log on, pick a server, and play, which is fantastic when you compare it to the experience of buying Palworld or Valheim and then trying to figure out how to set up servers just so you can play with your friends, and then losing your characters afterwards because your server fees were shut down because you stopped playing. Those games were a nightmare, and it's nice to log into a game that is just the old way of gaming. You log in, you pick your server, and you go. And this is truly a free game. It's not a pay to win. There are plenty of things you can purchase, but they're cosmetics. You can't buy weapons, you can't buy armor, you can't buy upgrades that are going to help you win the game. So, if you're like me, you like to experience these games, firsthand. You like to play them. I don't like to watch videos beforehand, so this is really just going to be a review of what the game is, the mechanics, just like a see if you want to play it type thing. I'm not going to give you like tips and tricks and anything like that, just high level. So probably the best thing about this game is the longevity that it's going to have. So they release content in weekly phases, and right now you can see my server is on week number 2. This is because I joined a little bit later. There are other servers that are currently on week 4 right now, and it's a 6-week long season. After that, the season resets, and it's going to start off with another new 6-week season. So as you play, you'll join. If you join a new server, you'll get 1 week of content. You can level up to a certain point, you can do certain dungeons, and then you'll be stopped. And then the next week, you can pick up with the new content, so on and so on and so on. And it kind of just drags out the process, keeps you from grinding through it really quickly. Another thing is, you can't buy your weapon and armor upgrades. You have to find blueprints in order to do that. And to earn these blueprints, you either have to get them through the quests and exploration in the game, or you're going to find them via the gambling machine. And the gambling machine looks like this, and you can either go to the blueprint shop and you can purchase weapon blueprints via this currency called Starchrome, or you can do the gambling, which is like a whack-a-mole type thing, and you have a chance to win rewards of different types and different rarity. Whichever one you want to do, up to you. You can do this and you can get more random blueprints, which can be useful later on in the game, but it's kind of up to you. And this Starchrome currency cannot be purchased for cash. The only way you can get it is by earning it in game, and there's only a certain amount you can earn every week. So it is definitely time gated as to how much you can progress. As for the grind in this game, it's way better than games like Valheim. You do need materials. There's no way around that. But if I need lumber, I can go out to this tree and use a rock, because I apparently don't have my axe equipped. So 1 second. You can go up to this tree, and you can see over on the side, I'm getting like 35, 36 wood every chop, and then 88 at the end. Right, so you're getting a lot of materials really quickly, and the game uses a very normal amount of materials to craft things. With ore, you start out with the axe, working just like the tree, but eventually you get a drill, which is just this fast. And you get all of the material that you would from using the pickaxe, and it's just instant. So you get materials very quickly in this game. It's really nice because if you want to build something, you can just run outside, spend 1 minute getting materials, and come back in and build what you want to build. You don't have to grind for an hour and deal with the nonsense that other games have. So it's a really nice change, and it's something I've really found made the game much more enjoyable, for me at least. Another feature, much like Palworld, you can capture deviants, and deviants are basically little pets, and you can place them in your base like I have here, and they will go out and they will work, and they will farm, or you can have them where you can summon them, and they do special things when you summon them. So it's a fun idea. It gives you something to go out and hunt and try to find, but at the same time, in PvE content, there is one specific deviant that you are going to use for like 90% of the time, more than 90%, 98% of the time, because it's just so much better than the other deviants. The leveling and progression in this game is done with something called memetics. And so when you go into your memetics, you've got a tree, right? And it's a skill tree. And with every level, you're going to earn some ciphers, and you can unlock different things. So if you want to do, crafting of pickaxes and forging, you've got an entire tree dedicated to that. If you want infrastructure, so you want to build your tools, your gear workbenches to make armor, you want better ammunition, things like that, better healing, you can go down that crafting tree. You can go down the logistics tree, and you can do farming, you can do cooking, you can do water and power and all of that. And then you can go down the building tree if you're a base builder, and you have all different materials to build with, right? So you can start with the wood, you get to stone, you get to marble, and there's some really good, there's some really, really nice materials. This game has some of the best base building looks and just fit and build of any game that I've seen. You can build a very simple base like what I've got here. It's just very simple and functional. Or I will jump over to my buddy Jar's base here, and he is into the base building, right? And he has built a extremely extravagant, very built up, not nearly as easy and functional to use, but it is a very, built up base that someone who likes base building is going to be very interested in, right? You have quite the crafting options with these materials. So as you go, you can build, right? It's just, there's all of these different ways that you can build. There's different material, furniture items, different types of stairs, different types of railings. It's got everything. So really interesting base building mechanics. The farming in this game is probably one of the poorer aspects. You can build these planter boxes, and you can plant something in them, and you use fertilizer and water, and you can grow stuff. But it takes a long time. You only get one or two of each item when you grow them, and then you either have to, eventually you'll unlock fertilization or refrigeration, and they'll last longer, but like most of the stuff deteriorates over 24 hours. And same with the food that you cook, unless you put it in glass, or there's certain like drinks you can make in glass, and certain meals you can cook that go into like tin cans that are preserved. But for the most part, you're going to lose your food and drinks after 24 hours. So the farming is kind of grindy, it's kind of clunky, it's not the best mechanic in the game. Overall, the PvE gameplay is really fun. It's not super challenging in the early phases, but like really any weapon is viable to use during your just open world farming. There is one very, very dominant weapon when you get into boss fights, I won't go into that now, but it is definitely way more powerful than anything else in the game. But one of the nice things is, as the game progresses and the weeks go on and they open new phases, they open up hard modes for a lot of the dungeons, and there's a raid that opens up, which requires more people. It requires you to be in a party, and it really adds a lot more challenge to the game, which I think is also really going to help with the longevity and them dragging out the release of content. You can join a PvP server. It's bad. PvP in this game is bad. Coming from New World, which I think had probably the best overall PvP mechanics of any game I've ever played. It was very heavily skill-based. It was just a different level of PvP for any game like this. Coming into this, it's bad. It's a third-person shooter. You don't have a mini map that really shows you where everybody is. You're getting one shot by random weapons before you even know where someone is located. It's not well tuned. It's not really fun. It's kind of just like a spray and pray. The dodges don't really do anything for you. It's a third-person survival game that has PvP in it. So don't expect a lot on that side. Just touching on the servers and the worlds, there's a lot of servers, and each server has 15 worlds in the server. This only comes into effect if you and your friends join and you're on different worlds. You can go to a teleporting tower and you can move yourself to the same world your friend's on, and then you can build a house there, and then that becomes your permanent world. But each world is basically like its own instance on the server. So if I'm on world 15 and you're on world 9, we're not going to see each other in the game, and we're not going to be able to interact with each other. And each one of those different worlds has different events going on at different times. So if something isn't going on your server or on your world, and you are looking to do your 3 daily events, you can go over to a teleporter and you can just check the other worlds and look for the events you want to do, and you can pop into that world, you can do that event, and then you can go back to your world. So it's there. It's one of those things I think they did to kind of break up server lag. My biggest problem with the servers are they had such a huge boom when the game started that worlds filled up very quickly, and then they locked them to character creation, which caused people to mass exodus those servers and go into other servers. So you had a lot of servers that were low population, locked for character creation, because they already had a bunch of characters made on that server, and then people just jumped to another server because they wanted to be able to play with their friends that joined 2 days later. So I tried to play the game about a week after my friends started, and I couldn't get onto the server they were on, even though it was low pop, because it had been locked for character creation. So it's something they really need to work on. They need to do some server consolidations. They need to cut the dead accounts out and just get rid of them, and giving server transfers would be really nice. Even if it's a paid server transfer, it's something that I would pay for to be able to go play this game with my other friends who are playing it, because I haven't paid anything to play the game. It's, like I said, completely free. So overall, I think this is a great survival game. I think it's better than Valheim. It's better than Enshrouded, and it's completely free. So you have nothing to lose by trying it. Download it, give it a try. Let me know what you think. If you want to play, hit me up. I am on world number 32. It is the 0032 PvP server, and I am on world 15. So that's it for my review of Once Human.